acid test of combat, the men and machines that struggled through. And of all the Luftwaffe planes that flew in the conflict, no machine typifies this adaptability and perseverance better than the Junkers Ju-88. Dubbed by its crewmen the maid of all work, its airframe could be pressed into service in many differing roles, proving the validity of the basic design. The 88, originally intended as a high-speed bomber, was eventually given numerous missions, even as a fighter plane. Without question, it was the most versatile Luftwaffe aircraft of the Second World War. The stalwart machine's prototype first took to the air on the 21st of December 1936. It underwent many modifications and fought doggedly to the war's end. Unlike some of the Luftwaffe's more stunning jet and rocket aircraft, the secret of the 88's success lay in the versatility of its airframe. Throughout the conflict, the plane was altered repeatedly, yet still maintained its structural integrity. Not surprisingly, 88s that fell into Allied hands were scrutinized very carefully. American assessment crews that examined this model, A688, were amazed by the sheer versatility of the machine. A versatility that U.S. Army Air Force designers were never able to match. Allied intelligence groups were keen to gain as much information as possible about the Luftwaffe's sturdiest workhorse. Pilot evaluation concentrated on the aircraft's facility in handling airframe stresses, particularly in its diving characteristics. General Karl Spaatz directed all American air operations in Europe and commanded the U.S. 8th Air Force. He was intensely interested in information gathered about German aircraft. Ironically, the Ju-88's stressed metal construction was actually designed by American specialists working for the Junkers Company in pre-war years. Spaatz was interested in all areas of German aviation technology that so often seemed years ahead of Allied capability. With grudging respect, Spaatz would often personally take part in the disassembly of captured German hardware. After some preliminary precautions, the American crew entered the 88 through the bottom hatch, which was also part of the lower gun turret. This bathtub arrangement was also used in early B-17 flying fortresses, but not persevered with. The 88 used a variety of engines, and the mounting points were so versatile that the same plane could mount two types of engines. UMO engines were fitted to most of the later models. Their circular shape may suggest that they're radials, but they're actually inline engines with rounded forward radiators. Another strength of the 88's design was the single-strut oleo landing gear, which acted like a large shock absorber, reducing the impact of landing and enabling the plane to work from crude airfields common to front-line operations. Given that the 88 flew on all German fronts, often under appalling combat conditions, these two simple features were vital to its success. When the 88 was first developed, it was seen simply as a Schnell bomber, a plane that could fly more swiftly than the enemy fighters trying to gun it down. This was a concept that German military theorists had often espoused between the wars. With the ascent of the Third Reich and Hitler officially Chancellor, Germany's military theorists were finally come. The 86 was a twin-engine bomber, which relied on speed and defensive firepower. It boasted a lower dustbin gun emplacement and a second gun at the top of the fuselage. The weaponry was far from devastating, but in an era when most of the interceptors were slower biplanes, the 86's swiftness alone presented good defense. The 86 came with a variety of power plants, underscoring Juncker's early commitment to building versatile aircraft. This philosophy wasn't limited to the machine's hardware, because the plane was built to perform a myriad of roles. Apart from being one of the most advanced bombers of the day, the 86 was transformed into an airliner, eagerly received by commercial carriers in several countries. When Hitler sent some 6,000 Luftwaffe personnel to aid Franco in the Spanish Civil War, the 86 went along. Later, the aircraft was modified to fly at ultra-high altitudes. Known as the P model, it had a pressurized crew compartment, which together with its powerful 950 horsepower engines, enabled the two-man crew to fly reconnaissance missions at what was for the time an incredible height of 40,000 feet. The P model carried out reconnaissance missions over Britain, Russia and North Africa with total impunity. High and fast, during the first half of the Second World War, even the best Allied fighters hadn't a chance of catching it. By the time the war erupted in Europe, the 86 was outmoded as a conventional bomber. As early as 1939, this kind of combat role was assigned to aircraft like the rugged Heinkel 111. The 111 itself was a product of an evolution all its own dating back to 1934. It too saw service over Spain. And when Germany's forces smashed into Poland, the 111 played a pivotal role. But the Heinkel was a horizontal bomber, and although faster than the 86, it was still underarmed and needed escort fighters to protect it when delivering its lethal cargo. The 111's partner for the first part of the war was an even more versatile aircraft, the Dornier Do-17. Another design from 1934, the Dornier had links to commercial aviation. The Do-17 was an extremely sturdy design, and with its heavily loaded wing, had the ability to adopt several different types of engine. Its slim fuselage prompted the nickname, the Flying Pencil. The nose section carried the entire crew, a layout that was later adopted by the Ju-88. Luftwaffe planners recognized the advantages inherent in the Dornier, and its success certainly influenced the later Juncker's design.